and welcome to Community Spotlight, exclusively here on Astound ATVN. So glad you could join us tonight. I'm Dan Mowdy. You know, I've often heard that this show is going to the dogs, and tonight it truly is, but in the best possible way. Canine Companions is an organization that matches some of the most amazing canines to folks that could use a helping hand in their everyday lives. The organization is nationwide. Here in the Lehigh Valley, we're very lucky to have a chapter in eastern Pennsylvania, and we've got a lot of guests with 2 legs and some with 4 legs to introduce you to on tonight's show. Leading off will be Jan and Fran McBride. They are longtime supporters and puppy raisers for Canine Companions, and this is their 5th service dog now, 4-month-old Simone, who joins us here on the set. Jan and Fran, welcome back to Community Spotlight.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah. If you could, just maybe an overview of Canine Companions and what a wonderful organization this is. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
Well, thank you for having us. This is a great opportunity because we can really use more puppy raisers, and this gives us a chance to get the word out. The organization can raise the dogs pretty fast, and professional trainers, but we sure can use. Right now, people are waiting like a year, almost 2 years waiting for a dog to get one. So, but Canine Companions is the oldest and largest service dog organization in the U.S. The lady that founded them, Benita Bergen, is kind of the George Washington of service dogs. She had the brainstorm back in 1975 that dogs could help people with mobility issues. And so the first dog's name was Abdul back in 1975, and Abdul was matched with a lady, Carrie Knaus, who was a quadriplegic. So that's how it got started back in 1975. Since then, we've trained over 8,000 dogs, placed over 8,000 dogs. The dogs are bred back in Santa Rosa, California. And then there's 6 regions around the country. We happen to be out of the Northeast region in Medford, Long Island. And we have a chapter right here in the Lehigh Valley. We have a Lehigh Valley chapter. And you don't have to be a professional dog trainer to do it. There's really you just have to have a love of animals. And you have to kind of agree to go to 2 classes a month. And we train sometimes several times a month out at Star Buick GMC in Easton. They open up an area there that we can use for training. And we socialize them. We teach them about 30 commands, preliminary commands that they'll build on in advanced training with the professional trainers.
Wow.
But the neat thing is we get to take them wherever we go. They go to restaurants. Our real mission is to socialize the dogs, because the person in the wheelchair can't socialize them. So we do that. We take them to movie theaters and restaurants and grocery stores, and we get together. You meet some wonderful people when you do it. So
well, that's fantastic. Jan, I guess there's a couple of phases involved here in the lifelong love that this dog will show somebody, but it all starts, I guess, with the breeding, which I hear is done in California?
It's all done in California. And there's breeder caretakers. I don't know how many there are. There's quite a few. But they usually have a litter of about 9 puppies, and then they take each puppy and send 1 to one region or 2 to another region and stick them on an airplane, and then the puppy raiser goes and picks them up at the airport. So
that's great. And about how old are the puppies when they arrive?
They're 8 weeks old.
Only 8 weeks old?
They're 8 weeks old. Wow. And we pick them up at the airport, and you start from day 1.
It looks like Simone maybe a little camera shy, at least for the moment. That could all change.
And then we have them for a year and a half, and then they get turned over to the professional trainers.
And speaking of the professional trainers, this is a training session going on your screen here. We want to thank John Bensinger, who's with the regional Canine Companions here for the Northeast, for providing us with some great videos that the organization has put together. And it's amazing some of the things that this service dog will make look so easy and really make the lives of their companion so much easier, I would think.
You know, they can open up drawers, they can get items out of the refrigerator, they can get clothes out of the dryer, they can pull a laundry basket. That's one of the commands we teach them there, is how to back up. They can actually not only pick up that little dumbbell, but they train them to pick up a quarter off the floor without swallowing it. It's pretty amazing.
That is really something. Now, these are specific dogs. We talked about the breed itself, and it's different percentages of breeds, but mostly you mentioned lab Goldens.
Yeah, they have some purebred labs, some purebred Goldens that they breed. They like the cross, a lab golden cross. So you can get either a lab, a golden, or a lab golden cross to raise.
See. And what is it about that particular breed that really makes them great service dogs?
Well, they have a soft palate, and they're really good about retrieving. They can get a sack lunch out of the refrigerator without eating it on the way. The original service dog, Carrie Knaus, got Abdul, and she said her caregiver would go grocery shopping at dusk, and she'd be sitting there in the dark. She said, "Can we train a dog to turn the light switch on?"
Yeah.
And the dog would turn the light switch on, and she could get a sack lunch out of the refrigerator.
We're watching this video of this trainer who just had like an emotional episode that she was portraying, and the dog came over and interrupted it. So it's more than just physical abilities and disabilities. It's also emotional and in some cases mental health.
That's a great point. One of the things they started a few years ago was for veterans with PTSD. They'll sense the nightmare in the middle of the night, the tremor. They'll see the movement of the arms or legs, and the dog is actually, I've seen videos of it, they'll go over and pull the comforter off, they go over to the wall, turn the light switch on, and then they jump on the bed and put pressure on their chest and bring them out of their night terror that they have. Some of our veterans that have PTSD, they won't leave the home. Their significant other maybe has to quit work or quit school, but once they get the service dog, the veteran has a newfound life.
We're going to take a break here with the McBrides. Fran will be joining us. We'll meet some more puppy raisers here in the Lehigh Valley region with Canine Companions. Stay with us, and Jan, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Be right back. Canine Companions, truly a heartwarming organization to just observe, but to be a part of it, how great would that be? You can learn more and become a member of Canine Companions at canine.org. Find out all there is to know about becoming a puppy raiser. Speaking of puppy raisers, we have another puppy raiser with us now, Caitlin. Caitlin Denzer Weiler is with Bolino, who is about a year old. Caitlin, welcome to Community Spotlight.
Thanks for having us.
So it's been about a year that Bolino has been in your household, but you have a unique story. This is not the first Canine Companion service dog, well, in training in this case, but not the first service dog to be in your household.
Yeah, so Bolino is our first puppy raising dog, but we got into Canine Companions because I actually had a facility dog. So I work in a hospital in New Jersey, a rehab hospital, where it's important to get patients involved in their therapies and their rehab journey. And so I had a facility dog at the hospital for 10, 11 years. She retired last summer, and I wanted to give back to Canine Companions in some way. And this was the best way that I could find to give back to the organization, because hopefully I can train a dog that can become a service dog in the future.
Fantastic. Now, tell us a little bit about facility dogs, because that's a new concept to me, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers.
Yeah, so Canine Companions doesn't just give dogs to individuals with disabilities that need them. They also give hearing assistance dogs, the PTSD dogs, which we were talking about before, but also facility dogs. So one of the types of places where dogs can work is in hospitals. So I work in a rehab hospital where it's very important for the patients to be involved. And some patients, they don't want to come out of their room. They don't want to do therapies. It's hard. They've been through a traumatic experience, something like a car accident or a stroke. And so we find ways to involve them in therapy. As I'm a physical therapist, so it's really important for us to do that. And some people are really motivated by dogs, as you know, many of us are. Right. So we see a dog, we light up and we want to interact with it. And so we use the dogs to engage them in the therapy services. Fantastic. So she worked, my dog is retired now. Her name is Frida, and she worked for 10 years in the rehab hospital.
Outstanding. And now Frida's a part of your household as well.
Yeah, she's living the good retired life.
Excellent. And some of the photos that we're seeing here are of Jared Brown. And he and his mom, Jana Brown, they have a dog, and his name is Jose, who you're seeing a little bit of. And what a great companion Jose has been for Jared and for Jana, too. It's amazing the bond that takes place. We want to also mention that we're sending great wishes to Jared Brown for a speedy recovery. He would have loved to have been here today, but he's recovering from surgery, and the timing just didn't work out. But next time we feature Canine Companions, he and Jana certainly are welcome to join us, along with Jose.
And I'm sure Jose is really helping his recovery, too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you can imagine. As you can see, attending some of those physical therapy sessions for Jared. Fran, we're talking about facility dogs, and that's a great example, a dog in a hospital drawing patients to the rehab that they need so much. But there are other settings, I guess, for facility dogs.
There are. Monroe County has actually, from what I understand, a facility dog. And they're used mostly for children that have to either do a deposition or have to appear in court. And the dog comforts them while they're on. And they're accused, the accused might be in the audience, and the child is pretty nervous. And so the dog gives them 80 pounds of comfort while they're given, and they can look down and see the dog. So they do go to courthouses as well.
Wow, that's fantastic. So a lot of different applications for facility dogs, it sounds like.
Yeah, schools also. Often children with autism will feel more comfortable learning and kind of being themselves with a dog next to them. So schools are also a place where facility dogs are often used.
Fantastic. Does it help to have a dog that has been a service dog and is now in retirement, or a facility dog in your case, and have one that's in training, along with a couple of toddlers at home, I understand?
Yes, yeah, I mean, I don't know who it helps. Not me. No, it's a lot of fun. She is very exposed to a lot of different stimuli, which you heard us talking about previously. That's our job, is to expose these puppies to everything. So yes, I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old at home, so she has gotten very used to kids, loves kids, and hopefully that will help in her future job. And then my retired girl has definitely helped with the training. Yeah.
You can see like the interaction,
yes,
like almost taking
teaching her what to do
under her wing.
Yes.
Is that right?
And sometimes fed up with her a little bit, but they do very well together.
That's great. As puppy raisers, is there a nugget of advice that you could give someone who maybe is seeing this for the first time and thinking, I wonder if I could do that?
Yeah, I would say just do it. It's so worth it. You're always going to wonder if you can, if you have the resources, if you have the ability to do it. I asked myself that until the day I got her, and then even some right now I'm still asking it. But it's a wonderful experience. You really do get to give back to people that need these dogs in their lives. Yeah. So it's great, and you get to bring the dog with you everywhere. So it's a facility dog or a service dog for me too.
Absolutely. How is Bellino doing with the training? I know there's like 30 tasks that Fran mentioned.
She's trying to tell you.
Yeah, it sounds like, what are you questioning me for?
Yeah, right. She's doing pretty well. She loves to learn, and she's a very smart dog, but she also really loves people and other dogs, so she likes to play. She's very much a puppy still, so we're working on that excitability, but she is very good at her skills that she's learning.
And the next phase is coming up relatively soon.
In February, she goes for professional training.
Wow, and that means a different household.
Well, that means going back to the professionals, the professional dog trainers at Canine Companions in Long Island, in Medford, and she'll get 6 months of professional training, and then after that, hopefully graduating.
Wow. And you're welcome back to be a part of that ceremony, I understand.
Yes. When she graduates, I will get to hand over the leash to her new person.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Caitlin Denzer-Weiler, thank you so much for being here, telling us about your unique angle on being a big part of Canine Companions along with Polino. Fran and I will be back in just a moment. We'll meet the smallest member of our little stable of future Canine Companions. Stay with us on Community Spotlight. Back with us here on Community Spotlight, a very important one. It's a way you can get involved to help your fellow man through canines. Canine Companions, a great organization. They're nationwide. We're very lucky here in the Lehigh Valley of Pennsylvania to have our own chapter, part of the Northeast region of Canine Companions. And now joining us, we have another puppy raiser with a unique story of her own to tell, Juliana DiGaetano, who brought Danby 2 along, one of her 2 puppies in training. Juliana, welcome to Community Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I have to give you so much credit, and Caitlin before you as well. But for such a young person to get involved in an activity that means so much to somebody else, your first involvement with Canine Companions, I understand, happened while you were an undergraduate at Westchester University?
Yes, it did. I feel like I wanted to do something like this for a while. Growing up, I always loved animals, and I thought for the longest time my career path was going to be something involving animals, but I ended up going into accounting. I kind of made a switch, but I still wanted to find something to keep that passion alive for my love of animals, and that's kind of how I found Canine Companions. I just started researching different organizations that kind of stood for a great cause like that, and I fell in love with everything that Canine Companions stood for, and I was sold right when I started looking everything up. So I think that's what influenced me to get started in it.
And you were a full-time college student when you got involved. That's fantastic.
I was going into my senior year, and I started doing it then, and I brought Berlin, who is my first dog right now. I brought her to all my college classes with me. All the students came to really love her, and I always joke that everyone on campus knew her name, but no one knew mine. But they knew, oh my God, that's Berlin. So she would come to all my college classes with me. She became really loved around campus by the students and the professors, and it was just a big part of my life at that time. She was my little sidekick. And I think after I saw how much love and interest that the student body had for her, I realized what I could do with her at campus, because Canine Companions has different clubs at different universities. That's a little branch of Canine Companions where the students have the ability to raise service dogs while being in college. So
nice.
Yeah, after I found out how much they loved her there, I thought, the campus has a great interest for it and a need for it. So I started one there my senior year.
You got it started? Wow, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Now, Fran, I understand that youth is probably one of your greatest assets when it comes to finding puppy raisers. I would imagine they'd be great. And what's really great is you don't have to be one person with 2 dogs. You can be 2 people sharing a dog, I understand.
You can co-raise as well, and which some people, maybe their job doesn't allow them to, because we have some rules. You can't just leave a dog in a kennel all the time, while you're at work. So you can co-raise, and so the co-raising, that surprises a lot of people. They don't realize that you can do that. So,
I also wanted to bring up something that I know is near and dear to your heart right now, and the fact that Juliana has Danby 2, which is significant within the local chapter.
Yeah, this Danby, the name is just it brings tears to my eyes. It's so special. We had a wonderful, she started the chapter here in the Lehigh Valley. She started the chapter in New Jersey. Her name was Jane Nagy, and Jane was noted for raising 28 puppies.
Wow.
And one of her very special puppies that she had gotten back for whatever reason after it had been placed with its forever partner for 5 years was Danby, and her dying wish was to have a puppy named Danby. And this is Danby the second. So it's the name. We were just so thrilled that Juliana stepped up to the plate and doubled over with the other dog that she had, that we could keep them here in the Lehigh Valley, and they didn't go to a region out in the Southwest or somewhere. It's Jane, I'm sure, is looking down and with a smile on her face right now.
Outstanding. And Juliana, with Danby too, and your legacy that you have now at Westchester University, how are things going there as far as the interest and the involvement?
Yeah, there is a big interest there. I remember I went through a lot of steps to get the club going, and I got over, I think, 150 signatures that were interested in the club. And we just recently had our first meeting, and that went really well. There was still a really large interest. I think there was over like 50 students who showed up. And they're very interested in raising. They were really eager. I think having Berlin there really helped me a lot because they could see what they have the opportunity to do. So right now we're just working on getting everything started up, and then next semester hopefully we'll have students raising as well.
That's outstanding. Great work. Well done.
Thank you.
And to have your companion dog in training receive your diploma with you,
Yes.
that had to be pretty exciting.
Oh, that was the best thing ever. That was so special to me. Because she came to all my classes, so she deserved to graduate as well. So.
We're kind of short on time at this point, but Fran, I wanted to let you talk about some of the videos that are available at canine.org, the official website, but also elsewhere. Netflix has one, and there's also one out there that Charles Schultz's widow has put together for canine companions.
Right. The one on Netflix is called Inside the Mind of a Dog. It's a special documentary, and a lot of the filming was done where Danby will eventually go to training in the Long Island facility. That's really special. And then there's also just a wonderful, you mentioned Charles Schultz, it's called theandyfilm.com. It's only 8 minutes long, and it's very special, especially for children that want to overcome an obstacle, but it's animated. It's a wonderful film.
Absolutely.
It's theandyfilm.com.
Fran and Juliana, thank you so much. And we
you.
also want to thank Caitlin and Jan as well. I'm Dan Mowdy. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night, everybody.